Hi, and welcome back to Dusty Book Sniffers. I'm Nicole, and today I'm here for my May stats, but I'm doing it a little bit different this time. I've had a request from someone to show you how to make my small book covers for my reading journal. So let's get started. Well, good morning or good evening, no matter where you're watching from. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me. If you are new here and you have yet to subscribe, please hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it. And then that way you're not going to miss out on any future bookish uploads. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for taking some more time out of your day. All right. So as I said in the intro, we are here to look at my monthly stats for May. And it was a huge month is all I can say. And I'm also going to show you, as a request from Chrissy, for how to make my little tiny book covers. Now, I started making these tiny book covers simply because I wanted to have a reference point in my library of the books that I had read, because not all of my books are on my bookshelf. Now, while I do have 490 something books, I think I've actually gone just about to go over the 500 mark of books in my personal library here at home, and my daughter has 300 books. I don't always read the books that are on my bookshelf. Some of them I do, some of them I don't. I tend to try and pick 4 a month off, but that doesn't always happen. A lot of the time I will read a audio book that I don't have a physical copy for, or I'll read a Kindle book that I don't have a physical copy. And that was the case for a lot of the books that I read in May. So this way it gives me a visual of the books that I've read, of the covers, and I also take pictures of them and save them to my phone. So when I'm out book shopping, I might see a book that's got a really pretty cover and I'll pick it up and I've already read it on Kindle or on audio. So unless it is a 5-star book, it basically won't appear on my bookshelf if I read it on Kindle or audio. So it's a really good way. And as you can see, as I'm flipping through, a really good way of having that visual representation of the books that I've read. Right. So as you can see, they're just in at the end of each month, and that's how I put them in. And next year I might mix it up a bit. I'm also using story templates as well, and I'm saving them to my Instagram, so I can always have a screenshot of that as well, which will make it a lot easier for me to see what I've read through the month as well. And I can also print them off, because I can save the photo and then I can enlarge it to what I need it to be, and then I can print that off and put that in at the end of the month, maybe next year. That may be what I'll look at doing. But for this year, I'm doing the tiny little book covers, and I really do like doing them. They do look fabulous, as you can see in the journal. So basically what I do is I use Adobe InDesign. Now, there's nothing stopping you from using Google Drive or a Word document or any other document software that you might have. For me, I just use InDesign because I use that software for a lot of different applications throughout my business, for pattern making and all that sort of stuff. So the size that you're going to need for your little book covers and the size that I make, and as you've seen, they fit perfectly in there. You can you have them in the width, they are 3/4 of an inch, and in the height, they are 1 inch. So that's for the small ones. And you would have noticed that I actually have my favorite book of the month. So out of all of my 5-star reads, I will pick my favorite book of the month. So I reflect on my 5-star reads, and once I've decided which one was my favorite story or just really struck some emotion with me or anything like that, that will go into my monthly spread that you seen just previously. So that is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And sometimes I might have to trim that up. It'll just depend on the month that I have there. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to share my screen, and I will bring up my Adobe, and we can go from there. So let me just minimize that again and move this over here, because I need that. And I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. You don't really need to hear me talking what I need to do. I more do that for myself. So I know I'm following the steps. It's silly, I know. All right, so I am going to go to share screen, And I've got that there, and it should come up. It's telling me that I am successfully sharing my screen, and you should be able to see that. So I don't often do this, so you will have to bear with me. All right, so basically what I do when I create my TBR at the end of the month or mid-month or whenever, so it just depends when I create it. Sometimes I'll create it mid-month. Sometimes I'll create it in the last week and rush it through. So basically what I do is I go into my Goodreads. I've got I want to read list. I pull some books off my bookshelf. I check out my audio, and I check out my Kindle. So I've got a vast array, and a Scribe as well, which I class as audio and ebooks. I can get off there. So basically, what I like to do is when I'm creating my TBR on my Goodreads profile, I will create that month's TBR, and then I will put all the books into there that I want to read, or I want to get to, or I have plans to read. And so while I'm doing that, I'm also saving the book covers, and I just create a folder. I've got book covers, it's named Book Covers 2022, and I will, put the month that I am planning for, and I'll put all those book covers in there. Once I've got through the month and I've come back and I've done it, which I do that usually in the first week of the next month, I will then start dragging and dropping all the book covers. All right, so as you can see, I've already got some up there, and you can see those blue lines. They are the little boxes, and I've created this template, and I have it saved to my InDesign, so I can just use this every time. Okay, and so to create these little boxes, you want to come over here where you've got your table of contents of your tools that you have, and you want to select the rectangle framing tool. Okay, and I just click on that. And then I come over here, you see that my cursor has changed. It's changed to like an asterisk now. And basically I do a little box, and you can see it's just creating that. I just do that little box. Now, I don't worry about doing all the measurements from this one. What I try to do is I will click again, and it comes up with this rectangle. And so in here, I can put in the size that I want. So I put in 0.75. If my numbers will work. This computer just shuts off my numbers all the time. So 0.75, okay, and then I'll come down to the next one, and then I will just put 1.00, okay, and that's going to give me the height in inches. And you can see there that I've got a box that's just appeared. I then go back up to my selecting tool, okay, and then I can move this box around wherever I need to go. I now delete this one. Okay, that gets rid of that. But now I have the correct size that I need. Okay, and then I just, I right click and I press copy, and then I right click again and press paste, and that will give me another box. Okay, and I just keep doing that until I've created however many I need. I generally have, what I've got, 6, 7. So I've usually have 21 boxes, but I know in the month of May, I actually read more than that. And then I do exactly the same thing for the bigger box there for the month. And you would have noticed that I have artwork and pictures and all that sort of stuff throughout my reading journal as well. I pretty much have another document the same as this with the size that I need, and I believe that is 5.5 by 8 inches is the size that I make those pictures. Okay, so once I've got enough boxes, I then bring up my files, and I will then go to my downloads, and I don't know whether you will be able to see this or not because I'm not sharing that particular part, but I go into my files and find my book covers, and then I will go to May, and that will bring them all up. So this is where I go to my Goodreads because I can't remember all the books that I read. So I'll just grab my phone and bring up my Goodreads, and we can then start bringing, like I know that I read Broken Circle, and I will just drop and drag them in there. I read a lot of books. I think I've got my stats here. I read 22 books in May, and I read a total of 7,632 pages, and I DNF'd one, and my average page length was between 250 and 300. All right, so I have the Oblivion in there. I've got Her Name is Night. I have Layla. I have The Shadow. I have that. And what's the next one? All right, the next one is that one there, which is The Lost Rose of Shanghai, A Splendid Ruin. I'm now going in order of what I read them in. The Lobotomist's Wife, Train to Moscow. These were all really good books that I read. Reluctantly Home, Gone Girl, and some of these were bingo prompts as well. We've got Broken Circle in there already. Skylark Secret, that was a really good book too. I do apologize if you can hear almighty rockers happening. We have cement trucks and some work going on a couple of houses up, so it's quite loud. I don't think you can hear it, but just in case you can. The Readathon book, which was the Boneshard Daughter. Where is that? Read Around the World one, which was for Antigua. If the Broom Fits, which was a cozy mystery. Regretting You, Colleen Hoover. Oof, she did a number on me last month. A true crime book. Now, you've seen there, like they're all dropping in pretty good. But you can see this one here that I just dropped in then didn't drop in really good. So if you right click on that and then you go to fitting, right click on that, make sure you've selected it. Go to fitting and then fit content to frame. It'll automatically do that for you. All right, next one. This one was another fun read too. The Things We Never Get Over. That was I never got over. That was quite a fun read as well. All right. For some reason, sometimes it just does this. It'll start. I talk to my computer a lot. All right. That is all of my books. I'm sure I read more than that. Have I got everything? What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 21 there. I read 22 books. I know I read 22 books. What have I missed? Bear with me for a second. I've missed one. 3 Colleen Hoovers on there. Yeah. Gone Girl, Reluctant, Must Go. Oh, you know what's not on here? The DNF one. All right. So it must have registered on my core pile because I started it in May. So I only read 21 books. Only. Like I read a lot of books. I also started a few books as well. I think we started Gone with the Wind as well. Let me just have a look. I'll be able to tell you what. And I started that. I don't know. Yeah, I think I started Gone with the Wind as well in that month. So that might be one I'm thinking of. So my favorite book for the month, and I don't even really have to think about this too hard, is Her Name is Night. It was a thriller. It was a debut book, novel as well. It's actually part of a series, so we're waiting for the second one to come out. I believe that's coming out at the end of the month. So basically all I do is exactly the same thing. I just drop it into there, and I will double check that just in case, but yeah, no, that's fine. And then all I do is I will hit print, and that will print off, and then I just cut them out and I stick them in. It is that simple. That is all that I do for that. So that's basically it. That's all I do. So as I said, I actually read, it says that I read 22 on my core pile. So maybe I read the wrong one. So let me just bring up my core pile and have a look at my reading stats. Just bear with me. It definitely says that I read 22. Okay, let me just have a look at my list again and have a look what I have missed. Happy endings. Yes, The Half-Life of Hannah. That's right. I had to put that in there as well because that's why I'm thinking 22. I read 100 pages in that. I actually logged it that I read 100 pages of it, but I DNF'd it. So I probably shouldn't have it, but I do like to have the books that I DNF. So I'll just drop and drag that in there. And then I've got that in there. So I do, so I don't remember, don't forget. I do like to have my DNFs in there, because what I do is then I put a cross through that, even in my reading journal. So I know that if I happen to see it, because maybe the cover is appealing to me or something like that, and it'll draw my eye in a bookstore, I prefer not to pick up books that I've DNF'd already. So basically I just do that, and then that way I've got a record of it, and it's got a cross through it, and or I'll put DNF up above it. Depends on my mood of the day. But that is it. So as I said, it's registered that because I've logged it in my core pile that I've read 22 when I haven't. I've read 21, I DNF'd one, but I did pick up 22 books. And as I said, I read 7,632 pages, because most of those books I think there was only one of them that I listened to more than I actually read of it, because they were all my Kindle Unlimited challenge that I had. And the books averaged between 250 pages to 300. I think there was 8 at that, and then there was a few that were at like the 400 mark, 350 to 400. So yeah, but the average was for that month 250 to 300. All right, so that is it for me today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, you got something out of it. It might help you with saving your little book covers to your reading journal, so then you've got a visual guide as well. As I said, the reason that I do this is because not all my books are in the physical form in my house. An interesting little tidbit, my youngest daughter informed me the other day that between Savannah and I, we are about, Savannah's got about 300 books, maybe a little bit over now, because I know she's bought some more. And I have, with the books that are coming in the mail, it will take me over 500. So about 800 books between us, maybe 850. We are only about 200 books away of being classed as a library. An actual library, because apparently you only need 1,000 books to be registered as a library. So stay tuned. We may be opening a library soon. Hardly, because we don't like sharing our books with other people. She barely likes sharing her books with me. But that was my month of May. I digress. That was my month of May. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have got this far and you have enjoyed this video, make sure that you give it a like down below. Leave me a comment as well. And if you've yet to subscribe, please hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it. And then that way you won't miss out on any of my bookish uploads. But that is it from me today. Have a wonderful day, and I hope that you get lots and lots of reading in, and I will see you all again next time. Bye for now.